joined right now on RealAgriculture.com by Henry Voss. Henry is, I guess, a former elect CWB board member who this week, as a lot of you saw in the media, resigned. Henry, welcome today.
Well, thanks for the call, Sean. Appreciate talking to you.
Henry, just so everybody has some background, where do you farm?
I farm at Fairview. That's between Peace River and Grand Prairie in the Peace River country. And I represented the District 1 of the Wheat Board, which covers northern Alberta, and it's essentially north and west of Edmonton, including the Peace River country of both Alberta and BC. Many people will have known that we were in the seed business for years in Fairview. We raised pedigreed seed for farmers and did that for 20 years. We had a processing plant and retailed seed from the farm. About 4 or 5 years ago, we made a bit of a change. We sold our seed business to another fellow who's continuing that on, and so now we're just commercial farmers. We have about 1,700 acres of grain, and I actually work together with two other people in a partnership. And together in this partnership this year, we farmed 8,500 acres. So we're just finishing up harvest here in the next day or two. It's been a long harvest here because the crops have been late, and they've been very large crops, so the maturity of them has been delayed. And of course, the weather hasn't helped either. We've had various rain showers, and all of that's delayed us a bit. So we're all anxious to finish here.
So you didn't resign from the board so you could finish harvest?
No. My resignation from the board of directors has been building for a little while. I've been concerned about the direction the organization has taken over the last while, some of the decisions being made. And this has all happened essentially since the Conservatives got a majority government, and the realization came about that they had the opportunity to change the legislation with a majority government that they didn't have as a minority government. So there's some decisions been taken in that time period that have concerned me, and I finally came to the decision that my best way of serving farmers in the future is to resign and step outside the board of directors.
In your resignation letter, you refer to ideological bullying is one of the reasons for your resignation. What do you mean by ideological bullying?
Well, it's a word that I coined because I saw decisions being taken on the basis of ideology. And if you're using all farmers' money that's obtained through the monopoly sale of wheat and barley to promote an ideology, and to go further to exclude other opinions from those decisions and the direction, then I call you an ideological bully. You're using everybody's money to promote a point of view that is only your point of view, and it ignores the other people that have contributed money to allow you to be in the position that you are. And so it formed the basis of why I simply couldn't sit at the board table anymore. In board governance, directors have essentially two options. You can sit at the board table, provide your input, have your discussions, have your debate at the board table, and come out of the boardroom agreeing with what the majority decision is, and you simply accept that, and that becomes the decision of the organization. Or the other option is to resign. And it got to the point where I could not accept the ideology of the decisions that were being made. They were being made for those reasons, not for the reasons of what is good business sense for farmers, what is good business direction. And I said, I can't be a part of this anymore. I resign.
So Henry, what about this plebiscite? we obviously it came out in favor. Farmers say, or the majority of farmers said that, or the majority of farmers said that they wanted to keep the board. You and I would probably have issue with that result, but there's a lot of mainstream media saying, and obviously people like Chairman Oberg saying that farmers need to have a vote in this issue. What's your opinion on this?
That is the key point that a lot of people are trying to make, that farmers have spoken. And I want to back up a little bit, though, from that so-called plebiscite that was conducted. And I want to ask people this question. I actually want to ask the people of Canada this question. Do the people of Canada think that wheat is a crop, is a commodity, is a product that requires government intervention, that requires to be called or classified in the category of a controlled substance? Is wheat a product that deserves the attention of a special act of Parliament to control its sale? I want to ask the people of Canada that question. A quote was said one time: the government should not be in the bedrooms of the nation. So I want to ask the citizens of Canada this question. Does the government of Canada need to be in the grain bins of individual farmers in Western Canada, controlling their decision about how they sell their wheat? Let everyone in the country tell me that they believe that the government should be controlling what farmers do with their wheat. Now, if the answer to that question is yes, if it's a clear, resounding yes, that the citizens of Canada want to be in the grain bins of farmers and controlling the sale of that wheat, then I think we need to ask the commercial farmers of Western Canada what they would like to do with it, or how they would like to market that wheat. So we haven't got to that second stage yet. I want to ask that first question of the citizens of Canada.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say that most people would say no?
Absolutely. I think that if this was put to the people of Canada in a referendum, it would be an absolutely resounding no. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So that question needs to be asked first. If it was asked, though, and I wanted to go here, and the Wheat Board has been very good, and I admire the Wheat Board because they've got a communication department that is second to none in this country on any issue. They can spin the issue. I've seen it from the inside. I've seen how the issues come up, and I've seen how they've spun them in the media, and they've spun this plebiscite to have every reporter look at it and say, what about this plebiscite? And the farmers have spoken. Well, no. If you go back and look at some statistics, there's about 17 or 18,000 commercial farmers in Western Canada that raised more than 80% of the wheat. So how do you get from 17 or 18, say 20,000 for argument's sake, 20,000 commercial farmers to a voters list or a plebiscite list of 68,000? You get there because you know that every person that's been related to agriculture, it doesn't matter if they're in a senior center or a wheelchair or related to agriculture anywhere in the past, the older they are, the more supportive they are of the board. So you find out whatever way you can to make sure you get them on a list to vote on this issue. And that's how you turn the tables on the plebiscite to have it go in your favor. And this has happened in the director elections, and it happened again in this plebiscite. This is not about commercial farmers. This is about a popularity contest for the Wheat Board the way it exists.
Yeah. Would you agree that the discussion around this Wheat Board topic has become religion for Western Canadian farmers in the discussion, either pro or against?
Well, you say the word religion, and it's been mentioned many times. I say ideology. It's an ideology that drives decisions, and it's just simply wrong. It's a wrong way to look at a business that's charged with marketing farmers' wheat and barley.
So is the result of the plebiscite that was held, is the result of that being used to justify some of the things that you're talking about?
The the board of directors realized real quick that they needed some substance to fight the government with. And so we had an emergency meeting back in June with the sole purpose of conducting this plebiscite under the rules and terms that we decided, and use it as an argument against the government for doing for taking the decisions that were taken.
So, Henry, in your mind, is the board on a path to survival here, or is the board more on a path to basically fight to the last death with the Harper government to try to save the single desk?
There is no question that this board is on a path to fight the government to its last breath. This board of directors has decided that the organization in its current format is the only thing of value to farmers, and they're going to fight till that no longer exists, or they no longer exist at the board table. That's the basis for decisions. I saw those decisions starting to create a great deal of uncertainty in the industry, a great deal of confusion about direction with our customers. I saw the morale of staff being affected, and all of those things I see costing farmers money as we move into a new environment with a new entity. And I couldn't be a part of an organization that was, in my view, costing farmers money like that.
So, Henry, in your mind, kind of leaving some of the stuff that's happening today, what are some? Do you believe that the Canadian Wheat Board could survive long term in a obviously a market of choice, that it has opportunity? Because we've heard a lot out of the board saying that we have no assets, we have no opportunity here. This you're setting us up for failure. In your opinion, could there be an entity that could survive and thrive in this new environment?
There's no question that a new entity could come out of this. Having a look at the legislation that's proposed and the tools that the government has left the entity with, they've essentially taken away the monopoly. They've left everything else in place. And all of those other things include government guarantees on initial payments. In other words, if this new entity was to offer pools for farmers, that the initial payments on those pools would be guaranteed by the government. That's huge. That represents $1.5 billion that the government contributed into the wheat board in the past 70 years when the pool values dropped below the initial payments. That's a very significant value that can be used in the future. The other thing that they left is the government guarantees related to borrowing. The wheat board, the future wheat board, just as it is now, can go to the markets and borrow money at rates that only can be achieved by government entities. And these are rates that are probably a couple of percentage points lower than what would be available in commercial markets. The limits around those guarantees are very open. There's the potential that this new entity could lend money to the entire grain industry for the purchase of wheat and barley, just like Farm Credit lends money to farmers through under its act, backstopped by the government guarantees. That alone is a tool. It is a feature that this new entity would have in its toolbox to negotiate things like access, to negotiate handling agreements. There's a value in this that could translate into a win-win for the grain companies and for this new entity moving forward. And of course, all of that would be a win for farmers. I think this new entity represents additional competition in the grain industry that's not there right now in the non-board crops. I think it's got a great opportunity to move forward.
So, what are your fellow farmers saying to you that are in your constituency? Or have you got lots of feedback from them on your decision?
Sean, it's unbelievable. My email inbox got jammed up. I couldn't get my email because there were so many coming in. The phone calls, it's the support that I've gotten is just tremendous, and it's right across Western Canada. I'm getting calls from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, all over Alberta. I get emotional about it because the support is overwhelming.
Good. Okay, Henry. Well, I know this was not an easy decision for you, although it's I think it makes a lot of sense to a lot of people. It wasn't an easy one for you, and really appreciate you coming on and expressing very honestly your feelings and the reasons why you made that decision. So, want to wish you all the best luck completing harvest, and we'll talk to you again soon.